In the previous video, we solved one-step equations. And now we're going to move up a notch and solve two-step equations. So that means you're going to have, here let's look at example 1, a multiplication perhaps going on and an addition, or a multiplication and subtraction. So you have two operations going on. If you memorize this first part, you'll be great. First, you always must undo the added and subtracted term first, okay? So you're going to rip that part away first. Secondly, you're going to then multiply or divide whatever term or number is being multiplied or divided. So if you can remember this, you're going to be golden. First, undo the added subtracted term. So looking at example 1, remember your goal is to isolate this variable x. Well, I have 7 being multiplied and 3 being added. According to the rule up top, your job is to subtract or get rid of the 3 first. And so we will subtract 3 from both sides, showing your work, leaving you with a 28 over here and your 7x on the left side. Now you're back to the original one-step problems, and you need to undo the 7 using division and showing your work. So divide both sides by 7. I make my 7s with a dot, or that line, because they look like 1 sometimes. So you've isolated your variable x on the left side, which was your goal, and you simplify the right side and you get that x equals 4. Again, you can always put these back into the original problem to make sure that they're right. Looking at number 2, I have a multiplication going on and a subtraction. You always undo the term that is being added or subtracted first, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides to undo that, leaving me with 5t equals 35. And now you can simplify that, or solve that I should say, by dividing out the 5, undoing that multiplication, leaving you with 7. Number 3, two operations going on here, multiplication and addition. You try solving this one first. Did you get it? Did you show your work? I'm more concerned with that part. Number 4, finally we have a division and a subtraction going on. And so again, keeping with our rule to always undo the term that's being added or subtracted to that variable, we're going to need to add the 14 to both sides first. And then we're left with x divided by 2. And so to undo that, we need to multiply, and again, keep it up top, because that's where it belongs. Because that 2 divided by that 2 makes 1, thus isolating your variable to get x equals 44. Alright, you try solving these two equations for x and show your work. Pause the video. And there are those answers. Make sure you're following the correct process of thinking when you're writing your work. Don't just, I see kids doing weird things where they're just writing stuff down to write it down. Make sure you're thinking it through and talking to yourself as you do it. Alright, the next example deals with what happens when you have a negative coefficient. So remember, the coefficient is the variable, the number attached to the variable. So this -2 is our coefficient, and it's really nothing different. Your first job is always still to undo the added or subtracted term, and in this case it's the 12. Now the 12 is being added to that -2x because the sign in front of the 12 is positive. So don't read these things backwards. We need to undo that 12 first. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. Oops, that was supposed to be an equal sign. Alright, so that leaves our balance at -6 over here and a -2x over there. And that's the big thing kids forget, is that negative sign in front. Remember, this is plus a -2x. So this negative needs to come down there. Do not forget that, or your answers will be wrong. And now we just undo our multiplication with division. And we are left with a final answer of a positive 3. So negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3. Let's do some more here. I have 4 plus 12r equals 112. And again, that looks straightforward. I'm actually going to have you guys just do these as guided practice. And just watch out for this negative 14 and that negative 3. So pause the video now, show your work, and come back and check it. And there are your 3 answers. As always, if you have any questions, come find a teacher. Thanks for watching.